Hello. Welcome once again to Stuff and Things, where I like to talk about stuff and occasionally even things. I'm your good friend Bradley, and today I am wearing sunglasses indoors because today I am reviewing these Shinzo Tamura or Shinzo Tamura sunglasses that I received from Shinzo Tamura. These were provided to me for review, and this is the UMEDA style frame with the carbon style lenses. And they're really cool. Now, a while ago, I reviewed these, the Shinzo Tamura UMEDA style frames with the Onyx HD lenses. The cool thing about these Shinzo Tamura sunglasses is that they have these really interesting lens options. They're all polarized. They are Talex lenses made in Japan, but they all are sort of for different purposes. The lenses that I have in my UMEDA frames now, the carbons, are made specifically for distance vision. Pretty interesting stuff. We're going to get into this a little bit, but this particular model, the UMEDA carbon, the UMEDA tortoiseshell frames, and then with the carbon lenses, are $275 currently on the Shinzo Tamura website. Now, like I mentioned, there are all sorts of different lens options here. I went with the carbon because I thought it seemed to be the most interesting. The ones I have here, the UMEDA Onyx HD, are a little bit darker. They're more for sort of general purpose, everyday driving, things like that. These ones are supposed to be more geared towards golf. Let's get into the whole package here. The frames, like I mentioned, the UMEDA. And these are really their classic style frames. They have some that are a little more updated, but these are supposed to be reminiscent of kind of 60s and 70s Japanese and European style frames. They're made in Japan in the Tajima area, and they use a double shot injected molded process, and they're actually made of nylon. They're not plastic, they're not resin, they're not metal. They aren't made of the kinds of things that you would think sunglass frames would be made of, but apparently this flexible nylon that they use ensures that the lenses don't distort over time. It's extremely light and durable. It shows no sign of aging and doesn't deform over time. So I don't know if you'll be able to pick this up very easily, but they are very flexible and they are extremely light. And because of that, they are extremely comfortable to wear. And they do have these metal details on the nose, and then in the back there are some rubber inserts here where it touches the side of your head over your ears. But these actual nose pieces can be adjusted to adjust the fit of the glasses. You can pinch them more tightly, you can spread them out, you can shift them up and down. So if your face is a little bit crooked, you can make sure that the glasses actually sit properly level on your face. The frames, when I first got them, especially with my original UMEDA pair, they seemed almost cheap to me, but not in feel, but just that they were so light. I'm used to, I have a pair of Ray-Ban Wayfarers that are really heavy, and they're so heavy that they actually start sliding down my nose a lot. And just the lightness of these frames made me think, maybe they're not the most high quality. But then I started actually looking into the materials that these are made out of, and it's pretty advanced, pretty modern stuff. And the fact that I've had these for, I think, about a year now, and they look just as new as they were when I first got them, I'm pretty impressed with this nylon material for the frames. I think it's kind of cool. I really like the classic tortoiseshell look here. These are something that I could imagine, I don't know, Steve McQueen wearing in the 1960s. And that slight kind of horn rim style, they kind of remind me of Persols and some other sunglass, kind of iconic sunglass brands from back in the day. But like I said, super light. And the interesting thing is I'm wearing these indoors right now. And as I take them on and off, there is almost no difference in how bright the room actually is, which seems strange, right? These are sunglasses. They should dim things considerably. They do and they don't. And that's when we really get into talking about the lenses. These polarized Talex lenses are made in Japan, and they keep three things in mind. Natural color. I mentioned this in my UMEDA Onyx HD review, where it really didn't distort the colors at all as I was looking through the lenses, and the ones on my UMEDA Carbon are the same. They also add a little contrast, which adds some sharpness and then they add some brightness. So they actually make the world look a little brighter than it actually is. You can't really see that as much when you're indoors, but when you're outside, you definitely do. So doesn't that seem counterintuitive for sunglasses? Shouldn't they darken things down so you're not being dazzled by the sun? Well, they do. Apparently these lenses were designed in collaboration with professional golfers. And so there's a little bit of an enhancement for the warm contrast, so that's supposed to be really good for accurately judging distance, tracking fast movement, being really precise with that. The visible light transmission in these is 30%, and then they have 80% natural color. It's not 100% natural color because it does put that slightly warm cast over the scene that you're viewing. And as I take these on and off, I could definitely see that. It adds a little bit of warmth. And then they also have 10% added contrast and 10% added brightness. So as I'm looking out my window here, or actually even just looking at the studio lights, the studio light is pretty bright. This one is shining right at me. When I put the sunglasses on, I can see it perfectly clearly, but it just takes away the halo and the glare from the light. So that's kind of dazzling to the eye. This is perfectly fine, but I'm not missing out on any of the color or the contrast or just the brightness of the scene in this room. It just takes down the glare from the lights. And when I've been wearing these outside on really sunny days, they work really well for driving, but they're not so dark that you feel like the scene that you're looking at has been dimmed. You don't feel like you're missing out on anything. It's kind of hard to explain. They're really cool. Mostly we think of sunglasses as being just a smoky bit of glass that you're looking through that cuts down on the light. So if you're wearing them indoors, you'd be almost blind, or if you're wearing them at night, you could hardly see anything. I could wear these at night perfectly easily. I could drive with these at night. I don't know if I should advise that or not, but from my personal experience, I've been driving with these sometimes, and it really helps cut down the glare from headlights, but I can still see everything really easily. Pretty cool. The UMEDA Carbon Sunglasses from Shinzo Tamura. We're talking about some pretty advanced stuff here, gang. Really interesting materials in the frames to make them very light and very durable, but still they have a really classic look. The lenses themselves are really, really interesting. They're the most unique sunglass lenses I have ever had. And when I look at the world through them, it actually kind of looks better than it does without them. So, they are available from Shinzo Tamura. I will have an affiliate link in the description box below so I can wet my beak a little bit if you decide you want to purchase a pair. I highly recommend them. I think they're really cool, fairly reasonably priced compared to other sunglass brands on the market, and I think they're doing some really interesting things and kind of pushing things forward as far as the materials they use for the frames and then the technology that goes into these lenses. Really interesting stuff. Thank you so much for watching. I've been your good friend Bradley. You've been the audience. This has been Stuff and Things. I'll see you later.